So here we are at St. Paul's Cathedral, and we're going to talk about the 7 deadly sins. I don't know why it's not 6, it would be more appropriate, like Number of the Devil, but yeah, you should definitely check out that film 7, Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. Definitely, it's a film that gave me inspiration for this little talk right now. And yeah, so I'm not here to preach, I'm not giving a sermon or anything, but we're going to frame the 7 deadly sins as 7 challenges that we all struggle to overcome on a daily basis. First of all, just to go through them very quickly: lust, envy, wrath, greed, sloth, pride, and gluttony. So let's start with envy. So why is envy a sin? Well, as it says here, envy is characterized by an insatiable desire. Envy is similar to jealousy in that they both feel discontent towards someone's traits, status, abilities, or rewards. So, yeah, just don't be jealous, man. You can't. Here's the thing: we're all born into different circumstances, which we have no control over. Well, you do have control later in life, but if someone happens to be further down the line, it just might take you a bit longer. Don't worry about it. Just stop comparing too much. If it motivates you, good. But if it makes you feel bad, makes you feel like shit, there's no point for it. Or you're gonna be jealous of some rich guy who's got many chicks, but you don't. Or you gotta start hustling and get that money. You're gonna start being jealous of some 21-year-old model who's being able to travel around the world, or because she's being paid to do it, and you're not being paid to do it. Different circumstances, different context, everything is in a different situation. So yeah, just live your own life. Focus on your own goals and focus on your own success. Okay? Stop focusing on others. You can learn from them, take inspiration from them, but don't use their success as some kind of way to hold yourself down. Just focus at your own tasks at hand. Wrath, when also known as rage, may be described as inordinate and uncontrolled feelings of hatred or anger. Just gotta chill out, bro. Can't be keeping that hate or anger inside. That feeling that you want to strike vengeance upon people. It only comes back negatively, back to you. It's karma. Whatever you put out into the world, you get back. And if you put out your hate, you probably get hate back, or even worse. So be careful with your temper, because nothing really good comes out of anger. Emotions are all swayed. You can't think clearly. You can't make rational decisions. Just meditate, go to the gym, go to a martial arts so you can start punching out all that rage and anger. Not necessarily at someone, but even on a bag. That will help, get rid of some of that tension, that anger. Greed. So, greed is applied a very excessive or rapacious desire and pursuit of material possessions. Greed is a sin against God, just as all mortal sins is, as much as man condemns things internal for the sake of temporal things. All right, kind of biblical phrasing there, but just to break it down, yeah, you have an insatiable desire for material objects or wealth. You want too much of it. It's never enough. You want so much of it that's at the expense of other people, taking from other people just to fill up your cup, which will never be filled. So, why is it bad to be greedy? Well, it's a tough one, because Gordon Gekko in the movie Wall Street said greed is good. So you want too much greed, put you on a downward spiral. You're going to be taking from others just to fill up your house with a bunch of cash, whilst everyone else is going poor because of your greed, making people broke. Everyone are losing their jobs because of you, talking to the government. But anyway, yeah, that's a tricky one, because we all are a little bit greedy. We all want the best. We all want a lot of it, and I suppose you just got to know when to, tone it down a bit. Keep that in check. Be frugal, I guess. That's how you overcome greed, and try and live simply once in a while. Live a simple life. Go to a different country, maybe somewhere, you know, where there's simpler rules, not so obsessed with materialism and corporatism, just, you know, on the beach, simple life. Go to the Himalayas or somewhere, the mountains. Sloth. Sloth can entail different vices. While sloth is sometimes defined as physical laziness, spiritual laziness is emphasized. Failing to develop spirituality is key to becoming guilty of sloth. Basically means you're lazy as hell. And you don't want to do that because, well, you're not going to get anything done. Your whole life will go on a downward trajectory. And you're gonna lose track of things. And, you know, if you don't have control of the right things in life, it's all going to fall apart. If you're a sloth, if you're lazy, your health, your finances, relationships. If you are too lazy in all those areas, well, you're going to end up with nothing, back to square one. So how do you overcome that? You just got to get back on the bandwagon, start doing something productive, build up some good habits every day, and just get something done. Do the work. Start working. What have we got next? Pride. In almost every list, pride is considered the original and most serious of the 7 deadly sins and the source of the others. It is identified as believing that one is essentially better than others, failing to acknowledge the accomplishments of others and excessive admiration of personal self. Yeah, basically narcissism, ego, thinking you're the shit. Nothing too much wrong with that, you know, having a bit of self-esteem. But when it goes too wrong, when you become arrogant and just insufferable, when you're just talking about yourself all the time, oh, I'm so great, look at me, blah, blah, blah. What about you? Comparing yourself to people lower than you and trying to put them down, it's just annoying. So just keep your ego in check. Remember, you're not like invincible. You're not the baddest guy ever. Put yourself in the boxing ring with a pro and, you know, you might learn your lesson. Gluttony. Derived from Latin glutire, meaning the gulp down or swallow. Gluttony is the overindulgence and overconsumption of anything to the point of waste. So yeah, excessive desire of food causes it to be withheld from the needy. Well, it's pretty simple. I mean, just watch your diet. Just don't eat so much. Don't go to Five Guys. I mean, go to Five Guys on occasion, but don't make that your daily diet. Why not just focus on getting a six-pack? All you got to do some cardio, go to the gym, do a sport you like that keeps you fit. It's really simple as that. Just don't eat too much. And the last one, lust. Lust or lechery is an intense desire. It is usually thought of as excessive sexual want. However, the word was originally a term for desire. Therefore, lust could involve the intense desire of money, food, force, power as well. Well, so how do I put this? Lust, yeah. We live in an overly sexualized society where nudity, sexual images is thrown at our face, and it can be distracting and rather frustrating for a young dude. So he's got to keep his lust in check. You know, he can't be acting inappropriate in places of work, because if he's going to get fired, he's going to creep out the girl or whatever. So one thing I would suggest, well, try and stay away from pornographic material if you can. Try not to touch yourself too much, and work on,
no just challenge.
Yes, self-restraint for as long as you can. I'm not saying forever for the rest of your life, but just, why not work on it? Another thing that when we talk about the feeling of desire and lust, over something so much, you gotta realize that you can't control others. What other people do is beyond your control. We all want to possess. Well, a lot of men want to possess the girl and be very territorial. Think she's mine and she's only going to be mine forever and please me forever and all that kind of thing. Well, it's never that simple. That's just not the way it works. Even if you do get that dream girl of yours that you lust over, doesn't mean that you're gonna always be intimate with each other. She's not always going to want to be intimate with you. Sometimes the mood changes, and then what are you going to do? You're going to be like sit in your lust all frustrated. Just keep it all under control and live each day with purpose, as Len said.
So when you're having the envy, the lust, the gluttony, the pride, the sloth, the greed, and the wrath, when they all take place, do you know what happens when all of them takes place? Well, I feel anyway, you're taken upon a state of apathy, right? And you just don't feel like doing anything anymore. You've lost just motivation or the will just to kind of thrive through the day, and now you're in a state of coping, right? So you might have seen videos on coping versus thriving, but you're in a hardcore version of coping. Every day gets more resistant to live, every day gets more resistant to sign up to that gym membership, to go out, to just meet people, to travel. And when you're in that coping state of mind and in apathy, it's definitely one to avoid. And if you want to avoid that, you kind of really just want to take a step back and realize what makes you come alive. There must have been something in the past you loved, you enjoyed doing. You kind of taken that memory walk lane just to refresh the mind and get rid of those 7 deadly sins, because right now all 7 of them, they're all taking a toll on you. They're all working against you, when in fact it's all just made in their head. It's all just, what is it really? The 7 deadly sins. Heavy consumption of social media. You're around the wrong people. You're at the gym and maybe you're hearing stuff and you feel like I need to be on that level as well. It's really, that's what it is, the 7 deadly sins in a practical term. And so you gotta look at a reference in the past and find out what you really love to enjoy, and you have to do that again. What you want to do is you want to trigger activation energy. You don't want to have a bias towards thinking. You want to have a bias towards taking action, right? So much of every day in social conditioning, we are taught just to solve everything logically in the head, right? Everything needs to be processed through the head. We always want to think things out through the head first before we think we're ready. And the truth is, we're never ready. You're never going to be ready if you think like that. You have to jump in. You have to find out where you stand, find out your starting point, and kind of work from there. That's how you do it. And you can't be in that stage of being stuck in manifestation, where you keep thinking about the end goal. If you always keep thinking about the end goal, you're always thinking about how far it is. Instead, what most people don't get is you have to manifest the work, manifest the process. You kind of build up, as I said, a bias towards action. And that's how you conquer the 7 deadly sins.